So, Rainworld has always been that one game that separates the casuals from the masochists. You know, the kind of survival experience where you celebrate finding a berry like it's a legendary loot drop, only to have some alien lizard thing show up and ruin your day 2 seconds later. And now we've got The Watcher, the new DLC that's been stirring up mixed feelings across the community. Some call it a bold expansion with new ideas. Others swear it feels like a rushed science project that escaped the lab before it was ready. So the big question is it worth diving back in? The first thing to know is that The Watcher is big, really big. We're talking more regions, more things to explore, more ways to get lost, and yes, more ways to die in horrible, creative fashion. If you thought Rainworld already had a knack for making you feel tiny in a hostile ecosystem, The Watcher doubles down on that feeling. New areas stretch out the map in ways that make the world feel even more alien and overwhelming. That scale is honestly one of the most exciting parts of the DLC. It's massive compared to what you'd expect from an add-on. But let's not sugarcoat it. Bigger doesn't always mean better. A lot of players have found that this huge scope comes with pacing problems. Some zones feel disconnected from others, like you're wandering through content that doesn't tie together smoothly. Instead of that tight, cohesive loop Rainworld nailed in its base game and even in the Downpour expansion, The Watcher sometimes feels like a bunch of separate experiments stitched together. For some players, that adds to the mystery. For others, it's just kind of frustrating. Still, you can't deny that the atmosphere is as strong as ever. The Watcher brings the same haunting vibe Rainworld fans love: muted tones, eerie sound design, and that oppressive sense that the world doesn't care whether you live or die. And that's the beauty of Rainworld in general. It doesn't baby you, doesn't pat you on the back, doesn't even give you clear instructions. You're dropped in, you figure it out, or you don't. The Watcher keeps that DNA intact. There are also new gameplay twists that shake things up. Without spoiling too much, you'll find yourself moving and thinking differently depending on which slugcap path you're on. Some routes push you into stealthier playstyles, others lean harder into survival skills. A lot of this content actually feels inspired by mods the community built over the years, and now it's officially folded into the experience. If you loved how unpredictable and experimental Rainworld could be, this DLC leans into that even more. The problem? That same unpredictability sometimes crosses the line into "did anyone test this?" territory. Bugs, glitches, and dead ends have been widely called out by players. And not the fun haha physics bug kind either. We're talking sections where you can get stuck, progression that feels broken, or mechanics that clearly needed another round of playtesting. Nothing breaks emergent faster than realizing you didn't die because of a predator or bad planning. You died because the game just didn't work right in that moment. And when you're already dealing with a brutally punishing world, that can be enough to make you rage quit for the night. Speaking of punishment, the difficulty is still here in full force. Rainworld has never been shy about beating players into submission, and The Watcher carries on that tradition proudly. If you're new to the series, this isn't the expansion that will suddenly make the game more welcoming. It's still brutal, still cryptic, still happy to let you waste hours experimenting only to realize you were doing something wrong the whole time. For veterans, that difficulty is part of the appeal, but it also means the DLC is only going to click with a certain type of player. If you're the kind of gamer who throws controllers when things feel unfair, maybe keep your wallet closed. And that brings us to the big divide in how people feel about The Watcher. Some players see it as a worthy addition that keeps the Rainworld spirit alive while adding new challenges, regions, and atmospheres to sink into. They'll talk about those incredible emergent encounters, like sneaking past predators only to watch them fight each other while you barely slip away. That stuff still happens, and when it does, it's just as magical as ever. But on the other side, plenty of players feel like the DLC wasn't ready for release. Words like rushed, unfinished, and poorly tested keep popping up in reviews and discussions. Even fans who want to love it admit that the bugs and pacing issues drag down what could have been a great expansion. If Downpour felt like a love letter to the community, The Watcher sometimes feels more like a draft that made it out the door by accident. Here's the thing though, if you already enjoy Rain World, The Watcher gives you more of what you like. More danger, more exploration, more mystery. You'll definitely find moments that remind you why you fell in love with this weird, unforgiving world in the first place. But you'll also bump into moments that make you wish the devs had taken a few more months to polish things up. So, is it worth playing? If you're craving new regions to master and you're the type of player who doesn't mind wrestling with bugs and brutal design, then yeah, The Watcher can be a rewarding challenge. But if you're hoping for a smooth, tightly crafted expansion that ties everything together neatly, you're going to run into frustration. The Watcher isn't built for people who want a fair fight. It's built for players who like surviving chaos, even if some of that chaos comes from the code itself. In the end, The Watcher feels like Rain World at its best and worst all at once. It's ambitious, atmospheric, and capable of delivering unforgettable moments. But it's also buggy, fragmented, and sometimes feels like it's actively trolling you. If you're willing to accept both sides of that coin, you'll get your money's worth. If not, maybe wait until a patch or two smooths things over. Because let's be real, in Rain World, even when everything's working, you're already one lizard ambush away from disaster. Add in a few bugs and glitches, and now it's not just the predators hunting you, it's the game itself. Welcome back to Rain World.